Hey, Scott from aristocob.com here.
And Seth from SethMarkwood.com.
The glare off of our glasses has got to be blinding. We look like we have been caught trying to escape a prison yard right now.
Certainly feels that way.
Hey, but with you, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again, and good to see you this morning, boy. How are you?
You too. This is a confusing morning, but I'm excellent.
This is janky, isn't it?
I know, it's good.
So last week we recorded in your car.
Yeah.
The goal was what?
To get as close to the camera as possible. We thought this week we would be as far from the camera as possible.
And no microphones, so we're trying to project here. And it's very dark, and the mosquitoes are biting, and the crickets are cricking, and Seth poured every light he had out in the backyard, including these RGB LEDs that are underneath the glass table. This is quite beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
So it feels like a party.
Yeah.
Speaking of a party, we're going to smoke something new. Don't know if you've seen this yet, but
They still haven't. Because it's so far away.
That's true.
What is it? Describe it.
Well, to commemorate Missouri Meerschaum's 150th anniversary, which is this year, they had some tobacco manufactured. This was, from what I understand, it was created by Russ Ouellette, which we know created the whole Missouri Meerschaum line of tobacco. I think there's now 5 different flavors there, different blends, and it's available from Pipes and Cigars. Oh, come on, open up now. There we go. And it is a cake. So that means...
I like cake.
Oh, yeah. That means we'll have to crumble this a little bit. But take a look at this. This one happens to be in a couple pieces. But give that a smell, boy.
Smells nice from here. Yeah.
It really does. And what I'm going to be smoking this in today, if you saw me yesterday on Aristocob, the YouTube channel known as Aristocob, I opened this pipe, which was gifted to me. It is a pipe cob mod that was gifted to me by Andy Everett. Andy has competed in a couple of the cob foolery contests, and I was looking at that and guessing in my video when I did the Abo that it looks like briar, or it could be a burl of walnut, and he did confirm that it is briar. And anyway, beautiful pipe, which I am going to smoke this tobacco in. Yeah,
Seen it yet.
it's a little bit smaller than I usually smoke, smaller pipe than I typically smoke. The bowl from that one is the same bowl that you see on the Legend, and that is, this thing began life as a Missouri Pride, could also be a
gorgeous.
Washington, but it is a beautiful pipe.
So, in this, it get a lot of fig.
You picking up fig?
Smell, yeah. And it feels like it smells like there's a little bit of perique in there. It's not strong. Maybe I'm just imagining it, but
I think you are. We'll look it up and see how it's described. But you're going to want to break it up a bit.
pinch, poke, and twist. I know the drill.
Well, it's not a flake, but yeah, close enough. So we wanted to give this a try last week, and things went awry, so we wound up recording in the car and not getting around to this. Oops, I need a lighter. So I got a couple things I wanted to share with you and you. And I think you have some things too, right?
Ew.
Thought you
Not a thing.
did. I thought
Not
you
a
did.
thing. So this will be good. This will be good, and we should probably film twice tonight. So consider that when you split the things you want to talk about in half, because I bring nothing to this table except for the LEDs.
Well, look.
I saw that.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That is cool.
That is that's Andy's logo, and that logo is also found right here on this label on the bottom of this pipe. You wear hats though, don't you? Sometimes.
You know, I have just
Put it on. Let me see what it looks like.
started. I just really got like my first adult hat. Recently.
You look like you should be felling trees in my yard right now.
It goes, it's a pretty good sized hat. Goes over the ears if you want.
All right, we'll discuss who owns that later. What are you smoking in?
Dagner.
That is a Dagner, yeah.
It is. This has become my travel pipe, which is what I have most easily at the ready here. I keep it with a tin and a lighter in a Ziploc baggie. If I'm going out of town, it just moves from luggage to luggage as needed.
Okay, gotta keep this going. But let's read the description.
I don't think there's any freak in it. Smoking it.
They were the first and a half. I'm sorry. They were the first, and a century and a half later, they're still going strong. Of course, I'm talking about Missouri Meerschaum corncob pipes to celebrate Here's Missouri Meerschaum's 150th anniversary. To begin with, this is the first crumble cake in their tobacco lineup, and it's nice and firm. Secondly, this is one of the first aromatic crumble cakes we've offered. Missouri Meerschaum 150th anniversary is made of select Virginias and Burleys from around the world, to which some mellow Virginia-based black Cavendish is added. By the way, when I saw black Cavendish is when I decided, okay, I'm going to buy this. I like Cavendish tobaccos. A subtle amount of smooth vanilla is added before pressing, but it's so slight that non-aromatic fans will enjoy it too. So grab your favorite cob, load up, light up, and puff away to celebrate Missouri's greatest contribution to our pastime. So, speaking of traveling, and I did post a picture of this on Instagram, I found my leather bag.
I saw that.
So this bag was made for me, and I'm blanking out on the name. Oh goodness, what is the name?
We posted a video.
Growly leather.
We posted a video with this bag like 2 years ago, maybe even more than that. You're so excited to get it because finally you had a travel bag, something you could take with you. Would be consistent.
The bags that I travel with are like fishing tackle bags. They're way too big. I take too many pipes along with me, especially for a 3-day trip. No reason to have that many pipes, that many tobaccos. And I wanted something.
Isn't my pipe travel bag? This is made by Ziploc. They are a Johnson & Johnson company, family company.
Oh, that's SC Johnson.
It is SC Johnson, and good for tobacco or freezing steaks
And cooking steaks.
Sous vide.
Growly leather. Brian Rowley is the guy that makes these, and he was a pipe carver, and every now and then still does carve a pipe, but when the FDA stuff came down, he decided it wasn't worth risking. He decided to shift his business over to leather. And I bought this bag because it appeared to be the size of like a shaving kit, something that my dad would have carried with him, and sure enough it is. And I packed it full of a few things and took it on a couple trips, and then it disappeared. Just plumb disappeared. And let's take a look at what's in here, because I literally do not know.
You haven't opened it yet?
I have not opened it yet. So
wow.
It's got a Mark Twain pipe. It's got some Fruit Loopy German tobacco.
It does.
It's got some Peterson Nutty Cut.
Has that been opened?
It looks like it's not. I got some tampers. I got a lighter. I've got a Marky Mark with a white bit on it. That almost dates this because I got that from Phil Morgan at Missouri Meerschaum before these were hitting the public. And I think in this configuration, this was marketed as Panama Jack or something like that.
Okay. Now, let me see your phone.
They printed it.
Mine's over here.
Okay. And let's see. Oh, this would probably be lane 1Q. No, this is McClelland Avenue. I can't make it out. It's Avenue TQ. I like this. This is one of those 1Q like tobaccos.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. That's a big bag of that.
It is a big bag. I don't know. That's probably about 8 ounces or so. And let's see what else we have. That's almost all. Oh, I've got a little little brochure for Growly leather, and that's it. It's empty. So this has been gone for a couple years now. What happened to it? How did it get gone? Well, I was traveling with this in my luggage, and then, like I said, it disappeared. And the other day, I'm looking around for something, and there was a what?
October 11th, 2017. Almost exactly 2 years ago.
Was when we looked at this.
Was when we
Wow.
shot the Yabo for it.
So I was looking for something next to my bed. I mean, next to my bed, next to my nightstand. And there was a fabric bag that my wife had thrown a bunch of my ties in when we moved to our current home.
Mm.
And I very rarely wear a tie, and the ties that I wear are already in my luggage. And so this bag is laid there. I've not gone through it. I felt no need to go through this bag. And the other day, while recuperating from my knee surgery, I thought, all right, I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff put away and so on. And I throw the things on the bed to see what's in this bag. And one of the things in this bag is something that's made of that nylon material, kind of like a windbreaker. And printed on that is some information about a trade show I attended.
Hmm.
So apparently this was a bag that I got with some swag, and I threw it in my luggage, and it somehow ended up in this bag. And I opened it up and suddenly remembered, oh yeah, I was at a trade show with this bag, and I opened my luggage and saw that it was getting scuffed up pretty bad. Can you see that?
Oh yeah.
Now I expect this thing to get scuffed up, but I wanted to get scuffed up doing something important and interesting, not just traveling through Atlanta on Delta.
Right.
And as I was going through the end of the show swag and getting ready to throw everything away that people had handed me that was of no value to me, the thought occurred to me, oh, I could drop this into that bag and that would protect it in my luggage. And I apparently forgot that I did that because it was the perfect camouflage to hide something in plain sight. Wow. But I'm so happy to have this back now. And you know what? The thought of putting it back into that bag makes a lot of sense.
You need to put a tile in it or something.
Yeah,
so that you can find it again.
That's a really good idea. I should do that. Anyway, so happy to have that back. You should check out Brian's site. He's got some beautiful things. He's got 2 Instagram feeds. One is Growly Leather, and the other one is the Growly Pipes. And every now and again, he'll post a new pipe that he's made for somebody. But he's just not putting himself out there, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't say that I blame him.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's smart with the way things have been going with that.
So anything else going on with you? Anything new?
So I just got back from a trip to Florida. Was down there for work. This is a trade show event that happens twice a year. So this is probably my 5th or 6th time down there with the same group of people. In the last 3 years, I've worked for this company. But its trip kind of coincided very closely to my 11th wedding anniversary. And so I have some frequent flyer points. I've been traveling a lot this fall, and had some hotel.com points. If you travel a lot and are loyal to a single hotel, it's great because you can earn points that way. But if you kind of are at the whim of just where you are, Hotel.com is pretty nice because you can choose, it's an Expedia site, but you can choose your hotel, but every 10 nights of stay, you get a free hotel stay up to a certain value. And so I had 2 nights saved up.
Is that in addition to any loyalty club membership points?
So no, most of the hotel chains now will not honor hotel loyalty points if you book through a third-party site.
They're already giving the money to them. Yeah.
Yeah, and so not it's in the past. It had not been this way, but we stayed at a Hilton offshoot, Oak Blend Suites, which is a Hilton brand, and even at the hotel, they would not let me connect my number to the room, which meant that my silver status, which gets me a couple perks, didn't have any effect. So like one of the things is in the room there are 2 bottles of water. Well, if you are not a member, it's $3 per bottle. If you're a silver member, the bottles are free. Well, because they wouldn't let me connect my account, I got none of that. So it's not even. It used to be, if you bought through a third-party site, you could still connect it. You would still get credit as far as number of trips booked, and it would still be under your account, so you could access it later if you had any questions about it. Doesn't do that anymore. So, you gotta kind of pick and choose if you want to be loyal to a single hotel chain or not. But anyway, with Hotels.com, it doesn't matter where you're staying. 10 nights, you get 1 free. And so that was nice to have those booked up. And so my wife came down with me. I worked for
What'd you do with your kids?
They stayed with you.
Oh, that's right.
And my mother-in-law and some of our friends, all hands on deck, watching them, which was great. Thank you for that. What'd you do with my kids?
A lot. All 7 grandkids at the house for several days. It was a wild time.
Mm-hmm. And so we went. She was there for a couple of days while I was working, just lounging. So we were in Naples, which is on the Gulf Coast. And so the beach there is beautiful, even though right now they're experiencing red tide, which is there's some algae that causes skin irritation, can cause breathing problems, especially if you already have breathing problems, kills fish. So there were some dead fish there. It's more common in the Gulf Coast because it's related to pollution. But still, it wasn't bad enough that it caused us any problems. So we got to go to the ocean, got to spend some time in the pool. We went through the Everglades, drove clear across Florida from Naples to Miami. One day, had dinner in Miami, then drove back. Saw alligators, other things. Largely, we drove back at night because there are panthers in Florida panthers, and as you're driving around the Everglades, there are these signs that said panther crossing signs, and some pictures of a panther crossing area. And so, being nocturnal, like, okay, let's drive back at night, see if we can see any panthers. Didn't see any panthers, sadly, but apparently they're one of the most endangered mammals on the planet. The Florida panther, there are between 150 and 200 of them in existence, which, given the small area they live in, seems like it should be pretty well saturated. But still, sightings are pretty rare. So, yeah.
What is their what predators? Probably us. What predators do they have to watch out for?
Yeah, Toyota Camry. I think that night.
Yeah.
Probably alligators. I mean, I'd imagine. We saw some big alligators. Well, one of them we saw was about 9 feet long. There are trails. There are trails in the Everglades that take you, like the marked trail will take you into swamp water up to your knees. There's signs for that, hey, if you want to go down here, it's a 5-mile hike in and back, and you need to, it's a moderate hike with water up to your knees.
Wow.
And as we were pulled off to the side at one point, so there are one of the roads that cuts through is a pretty clear interstate, but then there's a dirt road that juts off and goes a couple of miles kind of into the woods, into the swampy area. And so we learned two things there. There are some really, really tall trees in the Everglades. There are some portions of it that look like rainforest. And then there are parts of it that are very swampy. You just think a swamp, that's exactly what you picture. Do you know the parts that look like rainforest, surprisingly, are where the water is deepest. And so the parts that are more shallow almost looks like wheat. It's got these like reeds. It's kind of shallow area.
Sure, and cattails and things like that.
Yeah, but these huge trees will be in these areas where it's really, really deep water, and apparently it's because they take root.
Cypress trees.
And so at one point, as we're on this gravel road, we pulled off to the side. There are all these bridges, and the bridges really is where you can get a good look at the deep water. And there are a couple alligators. At one point, there were some people fishing off of one of the bridges and feeding the alligator. They were catching fish and tossing it down to get pictures of them snapping at the fish. But we're sitting here, 2 alligators right in front of us, and then maybe, I don't know, 100 feet, 200 feet into the woods are 3 people just hiking through the swampy area. Like, what is happening here?
Fresh meat.
Yeah. But it's very clear, even though there are signs not to feed the gators, not to feed the wildlife, it's clear that they've been accustomed to that. People coming through, tourists throwing things, throwing food. They're waiting. They'll either wait for people to leave so that they can continue hunting the fish because they don't want to get caught with a hook, or they'll wait for people to feed them. So, yeah, it was great. Great couple of days away. Nice to get away, have some time to see some sights and spend some time in some hot weather. Got to see, so in Miami, we got to see the East Coast Ocean. So got to see Gulf and East Coast. That was neat. Within 30 hours. It was a great trip. Went to the Knife, the Argentinian.
Oh yes,
meat
that's
buffet.
That's a nice place.
Awesome. Yeah, it was great.
Thanks for the reminder. I'm going to be down in Orlando in a couple weeks, and there was a Knife down there. I was trying to think about some of the places. The last time we were there, one of the places that was a favorite was just such a dud. It was so bad that I need to write it off. And thank you for that reminder. That was the Knife was good.
Well, and that was actually one of the motivations for taking the trip across the Everglades. There is not a Knife in Naples, and I wanted to go. And so we're like, well, if we drive through the Everglades, that gets us right there in Miami, and we can go.
So if you've ever seen or been to an Argentinian steakhouse where you have the gauchos that are walking around with the swords.
Brazilian. That's a Brazilian
Excuse
steakhouse.
me, you're right. The Brazilian steakhouses with the gauchos walking around with the food on the swords, and they'll slice it off as you're ready to eat. And you have the little green and red card you flip over when you're wanting to eat. This is completely different. Similar in that it has a huge, beautiful, bountiful salad bar that is more than salads. It's cheeses. It's sort of like a charcuterie tray.
Soups.
But then you can go around to an area where they're cooking, and they're just mass amounts of meat that they're grilling. And
It's all charcoal.
Yeah.
And it's just this huge, like the size of this table times 3 charcoal grills. And they've
Did you get the cheese?
They didn't have the cheese.
Oh.
But they had so much more meat than they had the last time I was there. They had parts of the pig that you would not normally eat. They had I got intestine, I got guts, I got guts. That's what he called it.
Tripe, probably.
It was not tripe. I think it was probably stomach. There was tongue.
It would be tripe.
Is stomach?
Well, that's beef stomach. Beef stomach
right.
is tripe.
It was not tripas. It was different. It had a totally different texture. The intestines were good, very chewy. Had some weird stuff. Had some great chicken, lots of cheese. But yeah, they have they'll heat up these metal dishes a metal bowl filled with cheese that just sits on the grill until it's just melty, and you can scoop it up with everything.
When I took a group there, no one else knew about the cheese. Boy had told me about it, and they're all wondering why I'm still up there waiting. They all filled up pretty quickly, and I'm standing there waiting for my food. And as I come back, I set this metal plate of cheese down in front of me, and every eye's staring at it because it's bubbly and it's browned over a little bit. And I wasn't eating bread, which would have been the perfect thing to be dipping into that. But oh man, that was so good.
Yeah, great chimichurri, and yeah, it's worth it if you're anywhere near one. I think they are a national chain, but they're very prominent down in.
But far more reasonably priced
Florida
than a Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah, so we went on a Saturday evening. Here's what you get for that. You get the salad bar, which has a whole lot more stuff than salad. Soup. You get the food, the meat, just tons and tons of meat. Each person gets a dessert, and each meal comes either with, you can get 2 beers or a bottle of wine per person if you want it, for $33. That's what it was. Brazilian steakhouse is like $55 and doesn't have all that stuff. And the last time I went to what is that? Something de Brazil. What's that
Right.
called? Last time I went there it was okay, not worth the price. This place, like, I've only been there twice, totally worth it. And their lunch, if you go at lunch, it's like $18, and it's the same meal.
And the fact that, unlike at the Brazilian places where when they signal that, okay, your table's ready to start eating, they bring over the chicken and the pork and the stuff I have no interest in, right? They fill you up with the things that they know is bargain cuts. Instead, you're walking up there and you're saying, I would like the steak, I would like the whatever. You're picking it right there.
Right, and you're looking at the whole smorgasbord. Board? Board?
It's just like having a borgashmord.
Yeah. And able to pick by looking at it.
Only the people my age know why I just said that.
Okay. That tracks because I'm not a person your age and I don't understand. How's your pipe smoking?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
What about the tobacco? What do you think?
I like it.
Yeah, me too.
I like it. They did a nice job.
Yeah. I definitely agree with the statement that you probably would enjoy this if you're not typically an aromatic smoker.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not incredibly aromatic.
No.
But it's also not offensive
No,
if you exclusively smoke aromatic.
It's a good blend. It's a good blend. So I'm thinking, why don't we do this? Why don't we just keep on smoking this? We can say goodbye, and why don't we shoot next week's episode?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, or I was gonna say we smoked the unopened tin in your bag.
Maybe so.
But either way,
maybe so. One last thing I do want to mention. This Friday, because it will be the 1st of November, I will be announcing the details of the 2019 International Corncob Pipe Month video contest,
Whoa.
which we do every year. And so be sure not to miss that, and hope that you participate. And thanks for joining us. Make it a great
You'll be
week.
making that announcement
On Friday.
at Aristocob.
On the Aristocob channel.
There you go.
That is correct. Thank you, boy.
You're welcome. All right. Well, thank you. That's it. We'll see you guys next week.